Wassail! Oh, I didn't put it down on the table. It's going to wobble. Never mind. Hello, beautiful people. So we're going to look at the next empath ability. What do I want to say about this before I start? I want to kind of explain that you don't have to do any of these traits. You might do all of them. You might do none of them. You might be attached to one and that's all you're comfortable with and that's all that matters to you. I talked about a kind of round table with lots of different seats for the different energies. And I get the sense that you can do as many or as few as you want, but I think when you work out how to understand and allow the flow of all of these into your being, it grounds you and it gives you the opportunity to kind of turn on a light in the center of the table that is the new you, newly philosophized, newly rationalized. They're meant to be very helpful aspects, and they're not things that you need to get hung up over. They're not things that you need to achieve. They're just opportunities to understand the world of energy around us and yourself better. So I'm just flicking through the cards. I'm just shifting them above and below and sometimes taking a whole block and moving them and just constantly seeing what might come, and then I will stop and we will see which one comes to fruition. So I'm going to stop with this one on the bottom, which is Astral Empath. Where's my book? Where I made the notes. Astral Empath. So what have we got on Astral Empath? I thought it was that. This is about dreams and interpreting symbols within dreams. This is about, kind of, if you go back to the biblical story of Joseph and how he interpreted dreams, it's about that energy where some people can have an ability to work with the energies that we witness in the astral. Like we all have to admit that when you look at dreams and things that go on in dreams where you say, oh, like sometimes I say, my brother was in a dream last night, but he didn't look like him, he looked like somebody else. Or you're in a room and it's a familiar room and you turn around maybe to pick something up and then you turn back and it's a completely different room. Or the dream's just entirely shifted to something else somewhere else. And some people are very good at interpreting the symbolism of dreams. I love a bit of astral. I'm not going to take that one because I haven't started. It was day, purge, dej. And it was about... I'm going to have to take it because they're like, it's the one. So, because I was going to say, it's also 24, which is the 666 day today. It's the moment that you purge and it's daylight, it's waking back up. It's the idea of what from the dream realm of night makes it through the eye of the needle and back out into the daylight. And in what way does the dream help to purge you? So let's have a look for the poem, the rune poem. 24. for Book of the Runes. So here is the rune. Push it that way so that you don't get that glare. And now let's read the poem. So this is day, purged, or dage. Daylight defines our world, splitting all into the illuminated and its shadows. Daylight holds no judgment, it just shines, treating nothing kinder or harsher. Daylight dawns and dies down daily, a rolling rhythm, unremitting. It greets the sun, yet when dusk descends, it's still capable of illuminating shadows cast by the moon's reflective face. Everything's a balance. Everyone's endlessly tripping the light fantastic. So there's something within that poem that is about the eternal flame that came up yesterday. It's something about the energy that even when we're in the astral, our life force shines in the astral, but it shines in a different space. Moon space, dream space, and somehow that space is a different reflection, like the sun shines from the other side of the world onto the face of the moon and creates a new light, but it's not the same strength as the light of the day, the sun, and it's astral energy. So let's go with Odin, and let's see what comes. Oh, so interesting, the bliss of light. Baldur being us as light in the astral. Baldur being us in hell after he's killed. And bliss coming back up. There's something about a refueling, a re-energizing. I didn't do the bells. Let's do the bells. I'm hearing Tender is the Night. The second bell had a rolling, like a rolling stone gathers no moss, a rolling stone energy, a repeating cycle, a wheel of fortune rotating and throbbing, but somehow within that there was an energy of life like a heartbeat. And then the second one was really, really soft, like something to do with waking gently. I suppose that's coming into that frequency again that was there yesterday, or was it the day before? This need to wake more gently, this need to allow daylight. So the energy where so many people sleep in darkened rooms because they fear the light waking them up. And actually that's what the day is meant to do. The day sets your circadian rhythms if you allow it to roll with a natural cycle. I like that. There was something else that was coming through that sort of slipped. Oh, it's this two sleeps. So years ago, before there was electricity, we went to bed at dark and we slept for 4 or 5 hours and then we woke again. And often people got up, and in fact they believe that women's fertility cycles are better in between two sleeps or more efficient. And so lots of babies were made during that moment. And then people went back to sleep after. And then when the electric light bulb came along, we started to push our hours of being awake ever later and into the darkness. Plus, with the advent of street lighting, suddenly outdoor spaces weren't wicked dark places where, you know, dark deeds and thefts were going on and all kinds of, you know, molestations in the nighttime. And so people started to stay out longer. I need to pour myself some more water. I'm really feeling like I've got a dry, sticky mouth. And so we very quickly forgot all about two sleeps. And then for a long time there was all this mythology about how many hours sleep did a person need. And quite often we do wake after 4 or 5 hours because it's quite a natural thing to do. And when that happens to me, I do things. I don't always get up, but sometimes I put on a play and listen to it, or a story. But I don't open my eyes too much because I value going back to sleep. But there's also an energy of go to bed earlier. So it's interesting here because it gets dark at 6-ish. And that's a long time before the normal pattern of when I would go to sleep. Also, my body clock's 2 hours out at the moment because I'm 2 hours ahead. So when I feel sleepy at the moment, it's almost midnight. And so I'm trying to reset my rhythms. So dream interpretation. Dream interpretation is an empathic ability. What is it about? Where does it come from? How does it work? What would you like to tell us? It's Vanahamir. So this is a world of magic. This is Sadir magic. The immediate energy that I am seeing from this card is that dream interpretation is from friendly heaven. It's from the heaven of no borders, the world without borders. It's from the energy of non-judgmentalness. And often that's why we can't judge our own dreams, because we're very subjective about them. Much in the way that we often can't deal with doing our own tarot readings because we colour things too much. I want to say here that I'm getting the sense of Dreamweavers. Spirits that weave dreams, which I've not been aware of. They weave dreams. Why then does it mean that some people can understand the symbols of the dreams? Talk to me about the Dreamweavers. I mean, I'm hearing in my head that we've all been one. Have we? Have we all lived as a Dreamweaver? I wonder. Is it a prerequisite before you can come? Or is it just that some people have been? No, because there's something about it. All of these aspects are possible for all of us. So we've either all been Dreamweavers, or some aspect of us is a Dreamweaver. But Dreamweavers seem to work in groups. That's the energy I'm getting. It's not about a solo energy. Dreamweaving. Dreamweaving. I am downloading energy where we dream of other people. And it's interesting that when we dream of the living, there's a sense that we create the living in the dream. They don't appear in our dreams necessarily. And yet we can give form to somebody because this is interesting. I'm getting the sense, so when I said earlier, I can go into a dream and I can see my brother, it's like the astral, as we know, is another dimension, and it's inhabited by Dreamweavers. And they're kind of, I want to say energetic mirrors, but they're like energetic mannequins, but they're not living. They're like energetic blank canvases. And in the dream, they can come in to weave stories. And so your own mind is projecting someone in your own world onto the body or face of a Dreamweaver. And the Dreamweavers can be anything. They can be objects, they can be trees, they can be spaces. They're like a canvas on which you can instantly project, like the Fête Luminaire that I went to in Lyon, where they wrap buildings in animations. These Dreamweavers are these kind of spirit beings on which you can project things. So I have a friend, and I'm not going to say her name because it's deeply personal, but she was having a medical problem, and she said I came to her in a dream, and I honestly don't have memory of doing that. And people do say things to me sometimes where they say I've turned up in a dream, and it's very easy in a spiritual egotistic way to believe that you magically do. And so what they're saying is that you don't. Each person is responsible for the dreams that they have that are woven with the Dreamweavers to give them the necessary help they seek. And it is help. But what does that make nightmares? Is it just that anxieties get projected onto the thing? This is really fascinating. So anyway, I came to this friend in a dream when she was suffering with a particular medical difficulty and woke her up in enough time. But I think the Dreamweaver would have projected my image for a way of waking her up, because I'm not someone that turns up regularly in her dreams. This is interesting, people. I like this. I knew I was going to enjoy these. It's really fascinating. So these kind of spirit beings, is it possible that people we've known, so you see, my brother turns up in dreams, but my better connection with him is awake. My mother turns up in dreams more than my father does. She's always driving me somewhere, taking me somewhere, moving me to new places. Is it my mother, or is it a Dreamweaver taking on the aspects of my mother? And we still got to learn what it means to be able to interpret these dreams and why some people can't. That's so weird. He was on the bottom and I looked at him and I just thought, I'm not going to pick you up. The dreams are about something you don't see in life, in living. They're projecting. Dreamweavers are projecting a shadow or a darkness or a frequency you're frightened to look at, and that's why they try to do it gently, they try to do it kindly, But sometimes our living anxiety as we sleep tips this energy over into a nightmare. Because there's something about the Valahemia card where they're looking, I want to say a little bit sad. They're looking a little bit like we're trying to help you to weave a better day. But there is some kind of, see, I wanted to say rules then, but that isn't what they're saying. The energy is not rules, it's there are complications with all of our presence in the astral. Why are there complications? Because our astral comes with an ancestral echo, that astral cleaning that we've been talking about. So they're trying to project solutions that teeter on nightmares. If the anxiety levels, if we can't go to sleep in a level of calm, we're beginning our journey on the astral, where the equipment illuminating the buildings and the faces of the Dreamweavers is phasing in and out of an energy of loving kindness. What are they getting from this? This is fascinating me. I feel like little Lenormand. What are the Dreamweavers getting? What are the Dreamweavers getting? What are the Dreamweavers getting out of this? What are the Dreamweavers getting out of this? Why do they do it? Why do the Dreamweavers do what they do? What's this about? It's breaking down barriers. We've got birds, but that's not what it's saying. It's immediately saying it's breaking down barriers, changing perceptions, busting through traumas, busting through the structural mysteries of history. I don't know what that means. Busting through the structural mysteries of history. Oh, this is going to be an annoying one. It's just going to keep getting bigger and longer. I mean, I do understand in many ways. We're dealing with ancestral echoes and they bleed into our lives and we're trying to reorganize them. It still doesn't make sense. What do the Dreamweavers get out of doing this for us? Union. There's a lot of bird energy, which is consciousness. Cleaning mirrors. These Dreamweavers are echoes of ancestral existence. So they're not, it's really difficult to explain this. They're not, you know, Auntie Mavis who died 100 years ago. She's not there anymore, but there's an echo of her presence because she was in the astral all the time. And there are energies in the astral connected to a pathway and a journey that we go through our bloodlines, through our DNA, that needs to be rewritten. And the echo of Auntie Mavis is trying to help you to clear both yours and her smoky mirror, so that this echo of her no longer needs to exist in the astral. So we're cleaning up human DNA bloodlines, and we're clearing the Dreamweavers from the astral. I wonder if they're all spirits or whether some are... It's interesting, it's an echo. Right, symbols. Let's go with the Alchemy of Astrology because they are symbols. I want to know why can some people do better at this than others? Or what's... Because eventually we can all do this, but some people it's their natural attunement. There's something about the space. I originally said this was like night and day, but now this is like a point between Dreamweavers and our consciousness and our bloodlines. But there's a fixed connection. It's something that cannot be broken. Okay, so when you don't remember dreams, it's not because you're not connected. It's the dreams are being withheld because they're tipping over into some kind of uncomfortable anxieties that they don't feel you deserve to carry into your day. I want to say, I feel like the astral's a very dry place, almost like a desert of life. There's no real life there. That's what I'm getting. It's all echoes. It's a very dry, kind of scorched space. Like I don't want to say like a darkness. I just mean it's been burnt back. It's like it was once something more beautiful. It's a little choked. My whole mouth sinuses are being pulled of water, and if there's no water, there's no truth to the emotions in the astral somehow. That doesn't mean they're not true stories, but it means that there's a dryness of emotional language. It's really pulling all the moisture from me. So we're not... There's something about when we say to someone, see you on the astral, you don't see them on the astral. You see the projection of them on a Dreamweaver. We've got Earth. It's very much about elements. This is Earth element, but this is physical truths. Pragmatism. To be grounded, to be stable, and to be open. But there's something about it that is, I want to say barren in many ways. It's like it's all there is this space, and you can't be stable, you can't be grounded, and you can't be open. You just need to be pragmatic about, it's like a projection of, I am hearing anxieties, but dreams are not always about anxiety. I rarely have nightmares. I have dreams where crazy things happen, and they don't wake me and I think, oh. So, we need to understand this. So, why dream symbols? We've got one symbol. Let's have some more. Dream symbols, please. Dream symbols, please. We've got a second card. A square. Again, I'm getting this energy of a broken philosopher's stone. Conflict, hot-headedness. I think that the natural frequency of the astral is something that is full of friction, full of confrontation, superior versus inferior. It's almost like it's got a sense of polarity, and actually the presence of the Dreamweavers is to try and bring you less nightmares. So if your astral team's good, you don't get them. Is that true? I'm going to keep shuffling. Dreams, the astral, what's it all about? There's 2 cards turned over here. I'm going to come back to those. I didn't really want this many cards. I like these to be energies in small card readings. Sorry, I'm being sidetracked by these cards. 1, 5, 5, 5, 8. So we have Venus. This is consciousness, heart chakra energy. This is nurturing energy. This is a love energy. This is copper. But it's also a transference of energy. It's like you can take emotions to this place and lose them to the earth. And the Dreamweavers. So there's something I'm hearing. There's a difference between daydreams, living dreams, and when we take our dreams to the astral, it's almost like they can purge them of their emotions, for good or bad. And we have Leo. Venus in Leo. And then we have Moon in Virgo. So the energy that I'm getting from this is digesting in both of these cards. It's about the digestion of emotions in the astral. To discern and redefine emotions, love, in the astral without losing the emotion. So the dream readers of the energy of Dreamweavers have something to do with binding into the webs and seeing the details. Detail awareness, like microscopic, superior versus inferior. There's another one over here that flew a long way off. And this is Aqua Regia. So there's something about the dragon's blood. This is being touched with some kind of energy that is the connection between the tunnel. It's an energetic flow that's fixed, that has to exist And it's not the cosmic dragon and the earth dragon meeting and passing. That's in us. This is some other kind of dragon energy that must somehow be a connection between this place and the astral that flows in the energy of dragon blood. And by dragon blood, I mean interdimensional frequencies. So there are two cards here, and it's discovery of truth. This is like, it's really interesting. Was being shown it as a brand, it being branded or tattooed upon your physical body, and that allows you to almost, when someone expresses a dream to you, to just reach inside with your mind and retrieve the energy that dissolves the barriers, retrieving the gold. The magpie is retrieving the ring of union. So the two cards that are the sort of inescapable energy that comes with the person who can actually be an astral empath, interpret dreams, is they have Aries to action something, to calcinate, to bring something into, and you think, dehydrate. That's what I've been feeling all the way through this, is a need to hydrate. So I'm getting that sense that astral empaths, when they truly connect, it's going in with their consciousness into the dream world, connecting with the Dreamweavers, and there's something that dehydrates them, because we're coming out with Psyche, and Psyche is the soul's home. It's how we move on from damage, from ostracization. Psyche falls in love with Eros, and that all goes wrong, and eventually she goes to Aphrodite, who at this point in time is Eros's mother, and she pleads the case to become deified. So I'm trying to sort of say that when you do this energy, when you interpret dreams empathically, you're connecting to a place in another dimension, but it's not something you could do all the time. It would literally suck the dragon's blood out of your life. It's an energy, I'm quite good at times interpreting dreams of people, because I don't think we interpret our own dreams well, which is why we share dreams. And people write down dreams and they journal dreams, but there's something about putting that energy on paper that fixes it into the real world. And there's something about allowing dreams to be sucked back, the memory of them, to the astral. It's a dehydrating energy. And so there's something about, if you overdo this, you couldn't set yourself up as a dream interpreter and spend all day drawing. I'm seeing things like dry skin, elbows, feet, like this I mean, I've not been like this, where every time I drink water, my mouth is bone dry. Well, that was weird. The videos are only allowed to be 40 minutes long on this at the moment. So, I was saying about being dry. So, this is it's a wonderful gift, but I think it comes with a cost. And that is accepting that it's only safe to visit the astral asleep. And that when people work as dream interpreters, they're running some kind of risk of disruptive digestive tracts, dehydration, skin disorders. It's really bizarre. That wasn't the energy that I was imagining would be here. That's really fascinating. So what would be the advice, really, is what I want to know. Just to end, I'm sorry, this has been another long one, 40 minutes. I need to keep that as a clue. Don't go over 40. Right, they're not happy, these cards. They immediately were kind of swelling up. Astral Empath, how can they keep themselves safe? Don't do it. You see, that Two of Pentacles, that Jormungandr, that dragon line, that there's an infinity, a fixed energy, and you're dicing with the astral when you visit the astral and you're not asleep. Even just retrieving the symbol energy will dehydrate you, will exhaust you. Yeah. So, Mars in Aries. This is fiery. This is fiery energy. It's a burning energy. It's an energy. It's acidic. There's another word with D that I want. I can't find it. 7, Chariot. This is the chariot that doesn't move. This is the chariot of retuning. Each time you dip in, you're being retuned. Whereas when you go in your own, in sleep, you are being retuned. But there's something uncomfortable about this. I'm not saying don't interpret dreams. Don't have people say to you suddenly, oh, I have dream loss. I don't want to hear it, it's going to burn me. That's not the point I'm saying. It's just there's something about, and it's interesting that earlier I talked about how subjective and objective it is trying to interpret dreams, and we do it. I mean, I don't do it often. People tell me a dream and I say, well, maybe that symbol meant that, and then it's down to them to think in their own psyche whether it's true. You see, it's interesting, the Fall is coming last, and it's actually coming out as too much of the Astral Empath is foolish. It's this tiger is trying to bite you to say don't enter the tunnel awake, only enter the astral asleep. What does that mean for astral projectors? What does this mean for astral projectors? What does this mean for astral projectors? because dreams are a projection. It's a similar word. I know it's a different thing. What does it mean for astral projectors? I know they're not going there in their bodies, they're leaving their bodies behind, but look, we've got 1558. So you're not leaving your body. You believe your ego is the only thing ingesting, digesting the space in the astral. But there's something about this energy that's pulling on your physical body. It's retuning your DNA in a wrong way. So they're saying they are pushing the energy here of you have to walk your own astral. So astral projection, I would be a little bit wary of it, people. It's interesting. There's some kind of DNA dehydration that goes on when you astrally project, because you're not taking the right consciousness to the Dreamweavers. Any last message? Any last message? Any last message? Any last message? It's ship, which is to go somewhere emotionally, but the ship is sitting on the water. The ship doesn't belong in the astral. There's something about it being void of emotions and about a cerebral understanding of emotions, but without the emotional content. Well, there's something quite mystical about that. And I can't say, you know, I've done dream interpretations. I've even astrally projected between Stonehenge. In fact, I had to split myself into 3 energies once. And I did it, and I did everything that I was told to do. And then I just thought, that's exhausting, I'm not doing that again. And it's not about saying, sorry, I'm being drawn onto numbers again, just give me, so it's not about saying that you can astrally project and it's fine. I can astrally project, it was fine, but I had an instinctive understanding that it's not good for the body. So what am I being told to look at here? Give me a second. 9, 10. Is that right? 13, 14, 15, 16, 17, 18, 19, 10. So this 1558, 1558, that's the beginning of the reign of Elizabeth I. No. I think it is. So 1558 is an extended 13.9, a divinely inspired energy that's a completion and a new beginning. But it feels like, this is so interesting, but I'm hearing trap. It's an astral trap. Yesterday's was a cul-de-sac, spiritual cul-de-sac trap. So astrally projecting is a trap. Dreaming is what you're supposed to do. to work with the Dreamweavers to clean up old bloodlines, dragon's blood. But astrally projecting is somehow complicating, draining, dehydrating, and not the right energy. It's astrally projecting is drying your spiritual cup. Thank you. Every time you astrally project, you're puncturing a hole in your Ace of Cups, and it's draining. It's dehydrating. I'd even go as far as to say it's boiling your emotions, making them bubble, and that's why without the Dreamweavers, as you work through ancestral stories and life stories that are connected to these ancestral songs, you're actually boiling away, drying away your emotions. So go easy on the astral projection stuff, because the realm that you're going to is dehydrating. So that's that. It's a bit long. Sorry about that one. I was trying to keep it short. Anyway, wassail, beautiful people.